Okay, so standing up, we will start just finding our nice Pilates stance, excuse lack of top of my head, and find your foot connection. So think big toe, little toe and heel firmly grounded into your mat or the floor, and we'll just release the feet off. So I want you to think about lifting the big toes, keeping the other toes down, placing the big toes down, then lifting the other toes, keeping the big toe grounded. And just for a few, getting a little bit of movement if you can. If you want to just focus on one foot, or if it's not working, then just sit down again and hold the toes down and manually move those big toes. I'm finding as I do this, my forefingers are wiggling about every time I lift my big toe. How are you getting on? That's one strategy, Jackie. Remember, lift those, that's it, big toes and up toes. Good. Just a couple more. And then we'll scoot to the other end of the body and release our shoulders. So backs of the hands together and think nice big shoulder rolls. If you want to start small, feel free, but keeping the arms as straight as you can. Really working through any crunching through the upper shoulder, through the neck. Starting to take some nice big breaths and remembering still feeling those feet firmly earthed. That's it. Good. Keep going. That's it. So every time you're finding a bit of length through the neck. One more. And then arms out in front of you. We'll do our protraction, retraction. So think about the big shoulder blades sliding round to the front of your body and then sliding back round, giving each other a kiss. And again, keeping the elbows as straight as you can. And perhaps take one breath as you reach and another as you draw back. That's it. And again, making space through the upper shoulder. So just allow your arms to hang heavy, still as you reach forward and draw them back. That's it. Two more. Lovely. And then still working with the arms, we'll do some little arm circles and we'll take them up to the ceiling, round. I'll try not to hit my light, and forward. Keeping the ribs engaged, so you don't have to take the arms too far behind you. That's it. So if there's any pain in the shoulder, just take it and keep it to a level that is comfortable. And then reverse the direction. So round behind you, engaging the abs, engaging the ribs. Still feeling your feet nice and grounded. That's it. Keeping the elbows as straight as you can, so all that work is happening through the shoulder. And one more. And then arms straight out in front of you. We'll get our back extension. So think pressing back with the upper arms, lifting the heart as the arms are behind you, elbows straight, and then coming back to the start. So finding a little bit of pressure. Imagine you're pressing through some liquid. And up. If you want to add some balance on to get the feet working again, squeeze the bottom as you press behind you to lift the heart. And return. And I like to breathe out as you press the arms, because that really gets those abs engaged. And focus, that's it, on lifting the heart as you take the arms behind you. Keep the chin nodded ever so slightly to make sure your head and neck is in line with your spine. That's it. So press back, lift the heart, and this time add on some arm circles as you come back to the start. So putting it all together, pressing behind you as the arm circle, lifting the heart, returning your feet to the floor as you bring the arms back around and in front. And if you think about the inner thighs engaging and the bottom squeezing, to help keep that balance, that's lovely. Oh, don't worry, Jackie, don't get frustrated. Just keep it level and slow. One more. And then just allow your arms to be really heavy by your side. We'll do some little side bends. So back to hand on the top of the ribs underneath the boobie. And think about drawing that side away from the hand, just to take the upper body over as far as is comfy and coming back to the start. And we'll have 4 more on this side. So breathing out to bend over, breathing in to stand tall again. That's it. That's looking nice, Elaine. And I think this is the last one. See, I've lost count already. Can't even count to 5. Oh, and then change sides. So find that nice hand position and breathing out, drawing the ribs away from the hand. And take a moment to feel whether this side of your body feels loose or slightly tighter than the other. Breathing into center, breathing out to bend. That's it. And then when you've done, just arms by your side. Good. And then take your feet wide apart. Sorry, my platform is making a lot of squeaks today. And we will just bend, squeeze the bottom and stand. So little squats. Toes pointing away, thinking about the bottom coming further back. So you don't want to bend forward. You want to imagine you're sitting back into a chair. And you can have hands out into a little diving position if you want as well. That's it. And really think about squeezing from the hip bones as you come back up to engage the glutes. And then you get that inner thigh connection. That's it, breathing in to bend, breathing out, squeeze and stand. That's it. Good. One more. Breathing out to squeeze and stand. And then we will squat again. So breathing out to go down. Rotate the hands to the outside of one leg. You can breathe in to rotate one arm up to the ceiling. Breathe out, press it down. Breath in to hold and breathe out to stand. Breathe in, Breathe out, no, oh, useless, sorry. Just breathe. I like to breathe in on the rotation because that gives your lungs some chance to really fill up and keep going. So breathe, squat, take it back over to the other side, back of the hand, compress into the thigh and the thigh into the back of the hand. And then you get some really lovely engagement and stretch through the back as you work. And I'm looking at those knees as well to make sure they stay in the same line that they start, and you're looking great. That's it. Good. And 2 more on each side. That's looking very nice. Good. Make this final one the best. So squat down, take your arms over to one side. Make sure it's the ribs that are helping rotate round and not just sending the arm behind you too far, because it can. Lovely. Then final one as we stand to just get the ankles warmed up again. So feet about hip width apart, and we'll add on the balance and ankle movement. So we're going to bend the knees, come onto our toes, think squeezing to stand tall, and then placing your heels down. So laying feet slightly closer together if you can, and trying to keep the knees in the same line and the ankles not wobbling about too much. So breathe in to bend, breathe out onto the toes, breathe in to stand, breathe out to come down. Final time, breathe in, breathe out, stand in, breathe down, then reverse direction. So breathing in to lift the heels, breathe out, bend the knees, breathe in, heels go down, and stand. Breathe in. Breathe out, breathe in, and stand. That's it. In, out. Focusing on the knees. I'm having to work quite hard. Down and stand. One more for me this way. That's it. Good. Then you can lie down. I will take pity on you. That's it. So if you want a cushion or head pad under the head, feel free. And if not, just give your neck a nice little lengthen away. And just today, hands on your pelvis, just below the ribs, close your eyes, and I want to focus on a little bit of breath to start with, to really center our bodies. So breathing in through the nose, you should feel your abdomen fill up with air, and the back of your ribs and side of your ribs. And breathing out, think drawing in through the tummy button, that nice big ice cream scoop, through the pelvic floor, through the low muscles. And then breath in through the nose to fill and expand again like a big balloon. And then breathing out until every last bit of air has come out. That's good. Lovely. So we can relax the shoulders, feeling the whole back along the floor. Working deep into the body, using the full breath will really start to strengthen the intercostal muscles or the abdominal muscles. And one more big breath in through the nose. And then breathing out all the air, engaging through the abdominals. So you should feel that connection and then keep that connection there just for 2 more breaths. So you're really holding still through the abs, breathing in, directing the air to the back and sides of your ribs, and breathing out, keeping those abs engaged. And one more breath in through the nose. And breathing out all the air. So trying to keep that ab connection, we'll move straight onto some small pelvic tilts. So if you've got a head block or cushion, take it away, breathing out. Just curling your pubic bone towards you, softening the lower back into the mat, and breathing in, keeping the abs engaged as you lengthen the pubic bone away again. Breathing out, still thinking shoulders nice and wide, fully on the mat. And in. So keeping it small to start with, trying to keep your knees and legs as still as possible. Finding it quite a challenge today for some reason. I'm waving all over the shop. So my back must be a little bit tight. So you keep your head down, just the bottom half curling towards you. Working up the spine ever so gradually, finding mobility and movement through each vertebrae as far as possible. Using your breath, using your abs. That's it, good. And work up a bit higher now. So coming to the middle of the back, a little breath in to hold, breathe out, soften through, place yourself back down again. That's it. Breath in at the top, breathe out, soften through the chest, placing the upper, middle and lower back down on the mat. If you want to bring your arms into it, please do. So breathing out, curling your pubic bone towards you, taking your arms up to the ceiling. Breath in to hold. Keep that curl forward with the pubic bone. And then breathing out, soften through the chest. Place the upper back down first, then middle back, then lower. And then unpeel the pubic bone away from you. So you're lengthening the tailbone along the mat. And again, breathing out, curling the pubic bone towards you as you draw in the abdominals. Peeling the lower back, middle back, upper back. That's it, arms to the ceiling. If you want to reach for the ceiling as you breathe in and breathe out, leave the arms there, soften through the chest, placing the body back down onto the mat. And as your tailbone hits, arms circle round by your side. We'll do 2 more. So breathing out, peeling off. Breath in, arms reaching for the ceiling. Breathing out, softening through the chest. It's the chest that places your spine back onto the mat and then circling the arms back round one final time. Breathing out, curling your pubic bone towards you, keeping that curl as you peel the back off. Breath in at the top. And breathing out, soften through that chest, placing the body down. You can keep the arms up towards the ceiling. And we'll do some arm slides. So opposite arm and leg, opposite arms just to start with. One behind you, one to your side. So you want to keep the ribs engaged and have a little play around. It depends how flexible you are in the shoulders, how far the arm goes behind you towards the mat. And if you change your focus from perhaps the hands to the back of the shoulder blades, the big scapula, if you think about them pivoting and sliding you might find a little bit more movement through the arms. So again, nice and slow, using a whole breath. Keeping the rest of the body out of the equation. So you're just drawing in through the abs. So you're breathing through that abdominal connection. Finding independent movement through the arms, through the shoulder blades. That's it. One more on each side. And then we'll take our focus to the legs. So arms just by your sides, think width through the shoulder blades and sliding one leg away. You can have a little flex of the foot at the bottom. And then think abs to draw the leg back in. And changing sides. So you're trying to keep stable throughout, keeping the abs, holding your back secure, allowing the rest of your body to work. And keep the leg on the ground for today. Trying to get some really good integrity into the movement and alignment through the knee, straight from the hip. Less wibbling and wobbling. It still means you work extra hard, that micromanagement through the muscles. Using the abs to draw in as you draw the leg back. So nice and slow extension away. And again, bending the knee, drawing the foot back up. And then bring the arms back into it. So you're having opposite arm and leg, just as that challenge. Trying to focus on everything. So the shoulder blades moving, the abs are engaged, the legs moving. The torso is nice and still. That's it. Don't forget to breathe. And one more on each side. Or balance yourselves up. Excuse my squeaking. And then place your hands by your side. Think again, width through the shoulders. Give your neck a little bit of length if you want. And we'll go straight into bridging. So different from the pelvic tilt, squeezing from the sit bones and the hip bones, lifting yourself up into one long line, aiming knees over ankles, and then coming back down again. And again, breathing out, abs, bum, knees away. So you should still feel quite loose through the neck. If you find any cramping today, you can bring your heels closer to your bottom. Again, make it nice and considered and slow. That's it. Jackie, careful, you're rolling a little bit too much through the back as you come up on the bridge. So it's different to the pelvic tilt. It's one big squeeze in and up from the bum. That's it. Good. Good, Elaine. Really focus on getting squeezed through the bottom to do that lifting. And if you're finding it really easy, just peel one foot off the floor and work on one side just for 5. Get some extra work through the hamstring and bottom. That's it. Very stable. And just notice your feet in your mind, whether they're starting to clench up. Allow them to be nice and wide and feel that connection of big toe, little toe and heel, giving you a good stable base. When you've done your 5 on one side, reset yourself up and change to the other. And just watch the standing knee. Make sure that leg is nice and strong and it's not rocking out to the side. That's it, good, Jackie. Good, Elaine. Just be careful with putting that foot back down. Keep control. You've got a lot of it there. Brilliant. Good. Keep squeezing the bums, pressing through the feet into the mat, allowing the shoulders to be nice and relaxed. When you think you've done 5 on each side, just hug your knees in so I can see who's finished. Good. So as they hugged in, from there, just arms by your sides, take your knees slightly further away from your body, using the abs, and we'll do our little hip rolls, some rotation. So breathing in, keeping the shoulders on the mat, keeping the knees together, take your knees over to one side. Breathing out, a little suck in of the abs, a bit of extra strength, back to center, and then over to the other side. And feel free to breathe. So I can't hear you. Make some noise, use the power of the breath to bring extra strength to the movement. That's it. So breathe in, knees to one side, breathe out. Think drawing in through the abdominals. That's it, back to center, lovely. Keeping it nice and smooth, laying that left knee over the right knee a bit more. Yeah, that's it. Good. And if you're finding it easy, as you take the knees over to one side, lengthen the top leg so it's nice and long, bring back to center, and then bend the knees back again. But only if it's comfortable on your back. And Jackie, keep those knees in line still. So that long leg needs to be, yeah. That's it. Just do 2 more. Good. Brilliant. And then if you need to, hug your knees in briefly for a little rest. And then feet back on the floor, hip width apart, hands behind your head. Think head heavy in your hands. Your head is pressing into your hands as you curl up. And breathe in to replace your upper body down. So remember, we're sliding the ribs down and over our tummies. And just allowing the head to be really heavy. Slight nod of the chin. Keeping it in the same place. Breathing out to curl forward. Keeping the tailbone glued down, drawing in through the abdominals. Imagine you're sending your tummy button through your spine into the mat. That's it. So breathing out, keeping the tailbone down. Don't have to come up too far. So Jackie, when you feel you have to shimmy to come up, don't go beyond the point. So it might just be tiny. You're still working those muscles. That's it. That's better. Good, Elaine. Really breathing out. That's good. 3 more. And final time. And let's add on our obliques to that. So you breathe in, rotate one way, breathe out, curl up, breathe in to come back. And we'll go opposite sides. I will take pity. So again, you don't need to come up very high. Just make that rotation round first, then curl up. Keeping the head nice and heavy in the hands. That's it, good. Elaine, a little less violently. Smooth. Good. Lovely. That's it. So really think the tailbone is heavy on the mat. Pelvis is really heavy. See if you can curl both shoulders off the mat. Keeping the head pressing back into the hands so you're not pulling on the neck. It's all coming from those abdominal muscles and your oblique muscles around the lower ribs. Good. One more on each side. And final time. And then hug your knees in, have a little breather. We've got one more in this position. So breathing out, nod the chin, nod the head, tummy button drawing in, press your shins away, and we'll do our single leg stretch. So extending a leg and then changing. And you can either just hold on top towards the knee, or one outside arm to the ankle, one inside arm to the knee. So nice and slow. If you feel any popping in the hip, just keep the legs nice and high. And you're breathing. Keep breathing. It all looks very calm. That's lovely. That's it. So make sure you're drawing in through the abdominals to keep the back safe. Elaine, if it's too much on your neck, lie down. That's it, as long as you're keeping those abs engaged. 2 more on each side. And then you can hug your knees in, have a breath. Brilliant. Then we'll roll over onto our side and we'll start with the shell. So find a position that your upper body is nice and comfy, but you're still thinking engagement with the mat. So you want your ribs engaged, a little drawing away from the underneath waist. And then when you're set up, heels should be roughly in line with your bottom, breathing out just to open the knee as far as you can before you start to feel any rocking in the body. So breathing out to lift and breathing in to close. So you've got that underneath waist drawing up. The shoulders nice and relaxed. Should have hip bone over hip. That's it. So Elaine, I think you can make it a little bit smaller. It looks really nice and loose, but I think I can see a little bit of rolling backwards with the body. So think drawing an arc with the knee just to the point. That's better. That's it. So it almost feels like something stops me, which is just my body. 2 more. Lovely. Then lengthen away in a nice long line and bring your legs just slightly in front of you so you can see them out of the corner of your eye. And we'll do a double leg lift. So breathing out, you hover the upper body, hover the legs, and breathing in, think extending away along the mat. So breathing out, lift and hover, breathing in, extend away. That's it. And if you're getting any tension in your neck, remember you can always just look at the mat and you don't have to hover your head at all if it's too much. And you're thinking, squeezing the inner thighs, it's the underneath leg that's doing the lifting. So you're getting those inner thigh workout. Shoulders look nice and relaxed, both of you, which is lovely. Underneath waist still drawing away, so you've got that corset of work, keeping the back safe through the abs. That's it. Making sure the legs don't go behind you as they lift, they stay in that nice lengthened position. Two more. Good, final one. And then you lift the top leg to hip height, keeping the head down. It's lifting and lowering the underneath leg. So you're thinking the inner thigh squeezing up, top leg is lengthening away. It should be staying pretty stable on the same level. So you're having to use that as a nice weight, body weight, shoulders relaxed, underneath waist still drawing up from the mat. You both make this look very easy. You can't deny it. That's it, keeping those abs engaged. And two more. Perhaps get a cushion for the other side, Jackie. Or bend your arm up to hold your head. Good. And then scoot up to sitting. We'll do our side plank as we're here. It'd be a shame not to. So choice is yours. Crossing the top leg over the underneath leg. And you can either stay on your forearm, think drawing in the underneath waist to come up towards the knees. Or if you want to do a full plank, nice long arm away from you, you sort of press into your feet as you squeeze the inner thighs together and the arm up to the ceiling, overhead, up and down. So you're thinking that length through the neck, by the way. So pressing up underneath waist, drawing away. That's it, Elaine. We'll only do 3 of these, so final one. So squeezing, drawing the underneath waist up, arm to the ceiling, whichever version you're doing, back and down. Good. And then scoot over to the other side, ready for our shell. So knees bent up, heels roughly in line with your bottom, top half, however you're comfy. Think length through the top of the body and that underneath waist drawing up. And then when you're ready, engaging the abs, breathing out, opening the knee just to the point that you're not letting go with your body, so you're controlling everything and isolating the movement through the hip joint. That's it. Good. Very nice. Still seeing that top of the body lengthening away a little bit more, just to find extra space. 2 more. Final one. And then lengthening the whole body, so you're lying fully on your side. Legs just where you can see them out of your corner of your eye. Breathing out to lift and hover. Breathing in to place everything down. And again, making sure you're thinking a long line so the legs don't go behind you and put pressure on your back. And any tension in the neck, just turn the head to look towards the mat as you hover. And if you want a hand in front of you for balance, that's perfectly fine. Much rather you have proper integrity of movement and feel confident and do any damage. So remember, those inner thighs are squeezing and glued together and taking your imagination to the bottom leg. So that's doing all the lifting. Good. 2 more. Breathing out, lifting ever so slightly. Jack, you don't need to lift your head quite so high. Final time. Breathing out, lift and hover. Breathing in, lengthen away. And then bringing that top leg to hip height. Give me a little stretch away and then squeezing the underneath leg from the inner thigh to lift and lower. Nice and slowly. And again, hand in front for balance. Still drawing in through the abdominals, shoulders nice and relaxed. That's it, good. Nice. Two more. And then come to sitting for our side plank. Top leg crossed over the underneath leg. And again, you can stay down on your forearm. So you think drawing up through the underneath waist, lift you up, arm to the ceiling, arm overhead, arm to the ceiling and back down, or longer legs and long arms. Same thing. And you're taking no pressure in the shoulder, it's all from underneath, waist. And one more, breathing out, lifting up. That's it, Elaine, good. Over, up, and down, lovely Jackie. And then yes, give your wrist a little bit of love. And we will work on our fronts as we've not been here yet. And we'll do the arrow. So if you want a cushion or something under your forehead, feel free. Arms down by your sides. And just allowing the shoulders to be really heavy. So you should feel your pubic bone earthed into the mat, tailbone reaching away, shoulders down, ready for breathing in to lift them Breathing out, imagine they're sliding down your back to hover the upper body. Chin stays nice and relaxed. Breathing in, turning your arms so your thumbs come to the ceiling. And breathing out, placing yourself down, allowing those shoulders to roll forward. So all the time the lower body is not moving at all. Just the upper back extension, getting some work. Breath in to rotate and thumbs to the ceiling. Breathing out to place yourself down. So breathe in, lift the shoulders. Breathe out, slide them down your back. Rotate the arms, thumbs to the ceiling as you breathe in and breathe out. Place yourself down. And again, breathing in, lift the shoulders, keeping the chins nodded. Breathe out, slide and hover the arms. Thumbs to the ceiling on the in-breath. And breathing out, placing yourself down. Elaine, you're lifting your legs a little bit, so try and keep them out of the equation and just focus on that upper back. You don't need to come up too high. Don't want any pressure on the lumbar spine. That's it. So you're thinking those big scapula sliding down your back to get the very upper back arching backwards a tiny wee bit each time. Two more. That's it. Lovely. Breath in and breathe out to slide and hover. Thumbs to the ceiling on the in-breath. Breathe out. Allow yourself to fall forward. And final time. Breath in. Lift those shoulders. Breathe out. Reach your arms, fingers for the toes as you hover. Thumbs to the ceiling as you breathe in. And then breathe out. Place yourself down. And then slide your arms. You can separate your legs ever so slightly. Slide your arms around so they're in a diagonal in front of you. And we'll do our swimming. So opposite arm and leg, lift and lower. Thinking from under the bum to the leg. So getting that bum and hamstring doing some extra work. And again, the scapula on the arms. If it's too much on your shoulders, you can just bend the elbows and work there. So your back stays nice and straight and doesn't move. The leg and the arm doing the work. And if you're very happy here, if you want to, you can just hover, squeeze the bum, hover the legs, hover the back, so thinking the chest lifting slightly, and then tapping down opposite arm and leg. Again, keeping the body still as you can. That's it. So the legs are straight, looking lovely. Good. One more. And then sit back into a child pose if you want to, or just hug your knees in. We're going to do one more down on our fronts. So coming back down, if you're up, you can either stay where you are, hands under the forehead, and we'll do some hamstring curls. If you want that little bit of extra back extension, you can come onto your forearms, thinking again, drawing up through the abs and sort of 2 pulses with one leg and then change sides. So the single leg kick Pilates exercise or just straight old hamstring curls, whichever you feel is better suited to your body today. That's it. Good, Elaine. Make sure those abs are drawing in, your shoulders are wide and away from your ears. And taking a moment to focus to see if you can feel whether your heel is coming in line with your bottoms. They don't have to touch. It's the tracking that we're looking for. Great. Good. That's it. One more on each side. And then what do we do? Yes. Let's come, if you're happy, Elaine, on your hands and knees, we're going to try today. We'll do cat and dog. If it's too much, I'll give you the alternative. So let's do our cat stretch because we've been working our extension. So just have a quick check of where your feet are. They should be in line with your knees, shoulders away from the ears, thinking squeezing the oranges under the armpits, and then tucking as you breathe out your tailbone underneath you to really curve the lower back, then the middle back, then the upper back until your head has to hang between your arms. Breath in there, and then breathe out, unpeel from your tailbone, like we do the pelvic tilts, and work through the spine until your head lifts back in line, ready to go again. So just working from the tailbone first each time, arching your back like a lovely cat. Breath in at the top, and then breathe out, unpeel from the tailbone, working through the spine. Good. And one final time, breathing out, tucking the tailbone underneath you, drawing everything up, using the abs, feel that lovely curve in the back, and then unpeel. Finding that lovely mobility. Good. And as long as you're happy on here, let's do the dog. So you're stretching one arm and leg away. You can keep it on the mat if you want. If you're happy to, just lift it up in line and then change side, which is the hardest bit. So you're having to squeeze the bottom, think oranges under armpits, squeezing the abdominals. So again, you're trying to minimize any rocking. That's it, Elaine. Good. Oh, well done. Considering you've not worked on hands and knees for ages, that's looking really stable. Good. Both of you, if you can, just think more armpits, so your shoulders are away from your ears and you're drawing up through the abdominals to keep everything really secure. One more on each side. Oh, never mind. Lovely. Then roll over so you're coming up to sitting. Well done, Elaine. That was really good. And we'll do our spine twist. So you can either have knees bent if it's too much on the hip flexors, because we want to get some straightness through the spine, or if you can, legs together, arms out to the side. Have them where you can see them through the corner of your eyes. They're not going to move. And just allow them to be really heavy. Imagine they're on a shelf. Breathing in, rotate the ribs only. Your feet should stay glued together. Breathing out, sucking in through the abdominals, allowing the ribs to rotate back round. So I think my head's moving, but your head should be in the middle of your chest at all times, and your arms do not move. And you think as you come back to the center, you're spiraling up like a little corkscrew. And one side might feel a little bit tighter than the other. And the challenge is to stay as upright as you possibly can. Elaine, you can relax your feet a little bit. Yes. Good. Lovely, Jackie. Good. One more each side. Breathing in to rotate, breathe out. Use the power of those abdominals to bring you to center. Final time. And then take your legs wider. So we'll do our saw. So add in the rotation and the flexion in forwards. So arms to the side. Breathing in to rotate, breathe out, nod the head, sucking through your tummies, reaching for your little toe, restack and recenter. If you want to have the back hand pressing into the mat to give you a little bit of extra reach forward, that's perfectly fine and feels quite nice. That's it. Good. So again, it's like the cat stretch, it's like the pelvic tilt. We're working through the whole spine as far as possible to get some fluidity in our movement. Well, that's the intention and the aim. That's looking lovely. Well done, Jackie. That's it, nodding the head, reaching forward. Elaine, you could come forward. I know you can. Final time. Good. And then, yes, lie back. Give your legs a little bit of relief. And lying back down, we will start to stretch out and wind down a bit. Feet either side of your mat. So we've got a nice wide stance. And we're going to drop the right knee to the floor. And then the left knee will go to the right ankle and you can look away. And either have arms in a big T or if you want to have them behind your head. So we're aiming for that stretch through the hip flexor on the left leg. And then breathing out, engage the abs, bring the knees back up to the center line and over the other side. So Elaine, you might want your feet wider so you get more of a stretch. That's it, through the hip flexor, that's good. Looking away from those knees and breathing out, come back to the center and one more on each side. So drop the right knee to the side first and left knee to the right ankle. Look away from those. And breathing out, use the abs to recenter yourself. Final time over to the other side. So left knee drops out, right knee to left ankle, that's it. Feel that lovely stretch. And then coming back up. And you can come to sitting. We'll keep on the theme of rotation and stretching out. So you want to stretch out the back of the long leg along the mat. Hug in one knee. And then turn away from the knee. And I feel more of a stretch in the upper body for this one. And then take a moment just to focus on the long leg onto the mat, aiming the back of the knee into the mat a little bit further if you can, to get a bit of a hamstring stretch. And then unpeel and rotate the other way. So you're hugging the knee into the body, rotating the body away, round behind the knee. That makes sense. And again, thinking long leg on the mat. And then release and change sides. So hug the bent knee towards your body with the opposite arm and then turn away behind. Keep breathing and then take your focus to the leg on the floor. Think about pressing the knee through the leg to the mat beyond. A couple more breaths. And then release off and change position. So you're rotating the other way. And again, then think about lengthening the long leg along the mat. That's it. And release off. And if you're happy to come over onto your hands and knees. And we'll do thread the needle. So in a nice quadruped position, arm out to the side, and then just slide it through, trying to get the shoulder onto the floor, engaging through the abs, and then you can rotate up a little way the other way and change sides. I think extending the arm, rotating through, aiming that shoulder to the mat. Little breath in there. Draw it back out, using your ribs, using your oblique muscles. Extend up to the ceiling. And then coming through. Back to standing, actually. We'll finish with our side bend. So rolling up. Actually, I'll do a couple of roll up and roll down. So standing nice and tall. Find your feet again. And then nod your head, rolling back down through the spine. If you need to soften your knees, please do. Just hang at your lowest point. Give your arms a little bit of a swing in one direction and then circle around the other way. Re-engage your abs if you've lost them. Breathing out, peeling back up, piece by piece. Coming to standing nice and tall. And do one more of those for me. So nodding the head, curling the upper body forward. Just allowing yourself to be loose and dangle, keeping the knees as soft as you need to for comfort. And then circle the arms at the bottom, just allow them to hang and then reverse the direction. And then breathing out, engage through the abs, drawing in through the tummy button to peel yourself back up to standing. And then you're done for another Tuesday. Well done.